Good morning, students. Welcome to yet another session of English Standard 6. Children, you must not be feeling well many a times and you go to doctor. But the biggest of all these doctors is a surgeon. A surgeon is a person, a doctor who performs big operations. Okay? So today we are going to learn about the person who first started the surgery. Okay, performing the surgery. The first surgeon of the world was Sushruta. Okay? Now, Sushruta was the first to perform the cataract and the plastic surgery in 2000 BCE. He was born to sage Vishwamitra. Sushruta is the father of surgery. 2600 years ago, he and health scientists of his time surgeries like cesareans, cataract, artificial limbs, rhinoplasty, that is the restoration of a damaged nose, 12 types of fractures, 6 types of dislocations, any urinary stone infections, and even plastic surgery and brain surgery. The usage of anesthesia was well known in ancient India. He is the author of the book Sushruta Samhita, in which he describes over 300 surgical procedures and 125 surgical instruments. So, from this, you can make out, children, that surgery was there in ancient India also. Sushruta, now let us read the lesson. Sushruta, a peep into the past. Part 1. Sushruta was indeed a bright student of veterinary medicine. His teacher, Shalihotra, once decided to test him. He asked Sushruta what all he would need to perform a surgery on a wonderful horse. Sushruta very quickly listed down all the instruments and the medicines that would be needed. 3 things are missing, Shalihotra said. Confused, Sushruta looked at him. I will give you a week to find them, Shalihotra consoled. Curious to find out what those 3 things were, Sushruta observed his teacher carefully for the next 1 week. So, children, you have come across a new word here, that is veterinary. Now, what do you mean by veterinary? Veterinary means relating to the medical or surgical treatment of animals, especially domestic and farm animals. And then you've come across the word surgery, where I have told you surgery means operation. Okay? Now, from this part, so children, this part that we have read tells you that Sushruta was a very bright student and his teacher's name was Shalihotra, who decided to test him. And Shalihotra asked Sushruta to list down the equipments which are needed to perform a surgery. Equipments means things that he would need to perform a surgery. And Shalihotra told Sushruta that there were 3 things that were missing and find out. Okay, now let's continue. Before operating the horse, Shalihotra observed every part of the horse, and then Sushruta found the first missing thing. A good veterinarian should have an eagle's eye. Then Shalihotra treated the animal as if it were his own, balancing science and compassion equally. And lo, Sushruta found his second rule. A good veterinarian should have a lion's heart. Shalihotra helped the horse recover after the surgery. Sushruta came to know that a good veterinarian should have a mother's touch too. Later in his life, Sushruta wrote a book on surgery. So here you come across many new words, children. The one is eagle's eye. Eagle's eye means you should keep a close watch. Lion's heart means someone who is very brave is said to have a lion's heart. Then mother's touch means tender and loving, caring touch like a mother. Okay, so now from this part, what do you come to know? That Sushruta had everything right but missed on 3 things which he found out while treating the horse. And what were they? That whenever a person wants to treat somebody or a surgeon wants to treat a patient, he should keep a close eye, okay, a close watch on what exactly is happening to the patient, then he should not fear for anything. He should be full of confidence and treat the and cure the patient, should have a liking for it. And while doing so, he should have the tenderness and care also to treat the patient or console the patient. Okay, now let's move forward. Now we go to part 2. A tradition of veterinary therapy developed very early in India, and this has survived to the present time. Based on the Ayurveda, Indian veterinary medicine is known for its specialized literature, which provides information on ancient methods of preventing and treating diseases of animals. Some of these treatments, little known outside India, are still practiced today. The oldest existing veterinary text from India is a treatise entitled Ashwayurveda Siddhanta, Complete Ayurvedic System for Horses, attributed to Shalihotra around 2350 BCE, the founder of veterinary medicine. Now, children, from this part, you come across many new words. The first one is therapy. Therapy means the treatment to relieve or heal a disorder. Okay, then treatise. Treatise means written work dealing formally and systematically with a subject. Okay, now this part, what does this part tell you? A tradition of veterinary therapy developed very early in India, which I have already told you that there was therapy, there was surgery, there was medicines, there were everything was there in India in the four Vedas. There are four Vedas which we have studied, which you know that there are four Vedas in India. So in this four Vedas, there is, so children, we have Ayurveda, which is called as the science of medicine, okay, and which is specialized literature. So we call that doctor Ayurvedic doctor, right? And we go there, and it is the safest medicine that cures the ailments and does not have any kind of side effects. Okay. Now, nobody, very less or very little people in India or doctors in India know about the deep knowledge of this Ayurveda. Okay. Now, the oldest existing text of the animal science is the Ashwayurveda Siddhanta. Now, Ashwa means a horse, and Ayurveda we know is the science of medicine. So, the science of medicine or the medicines related, the part of science related to the horses is called as the Ashwayurveda Siddhanta. Now, this was done by Shalihotra, who was the founder of the veterinary medicine. Okay, now let's move forward. Subsequently, treatises on horses and diseases of horses were composed. Nakula, one of the five Pandavas, was a horse specialist himself. Now we know that there are five Pandavas. Yes, and among them, Nakul was the one who was fond of the horses or many animals. Okay, so he was the one who was a horse specialist also, and he was the one who composed the Ashwachikitsa, among the best known works of animal literature. Now, Sushruta, a disciple of Shalihotra, wrote on animal surgery. This made people aware of surgical methods, dressing of wounds, bandaging of fractures, etc. Now, till then, people did not know how to treat the animals. But getting the knowledge from the book that was written, people came to know about how to treat the wounds of animals, how to bandage them, and so on. Later, during the reign of Chandragupta Maurya, veterinarians started accompanying armies to treat horses, elephants, as well as cattle. Now, during the fights, during the war, there were animals that were being involved, like the horses, the elephants. Okay, so how to treat them? Now, because of Nakula and Sushruta, everybody was now able to know how to treat the wounded animals, and so These veterinarians were carried to the battlefield also. The great Emperor Ashoka erected the first known veterinary hospitals of the world. He arranged cultivation of herbal medicines for men and animals in his empire and adjoining kingdoms. So, children, we come to know that the King Ashoka, the great Emperor Ashoka, was the first one to build the hospital for the animals, the veterinary hospital. Okay, and he also arranged for the cultivation of herbal medicines, for the medicines also that were used to treat men and animals, for that were used in Ayurveda. Giving the animals general tonics and stimulants was practiced in order to ensure good mental and physical health. Prevention of the occurrence of diseases was also given importance. Cleanliness of animals, maintenance of stalls and stables, quality of food, disadvantages of overfeeding were looked after. Utilization of animal byproducts was also done wisely by our ancestors. Conversion of milk into butter, ghee, curd, khoa, etc. was a common practice and still is. Chicken was utilized for its meat, while sheep was utilized for its wool. Although India has always had immense knowledge in the field of veterinary sciences, it is not chosen as a career by many due to lack of awareness. Being an agriculture based country today, India needs more veterinarians who empathize with animals and give their cent percent to the profession. Written by Dr. Chirantan Matkari. Now, children, you have come across some new words like subsequently. Subsequently is following in either time or place. Then stimulants. Stimulants means something that promotes the activity, that helps the activity, any activity. Immense is huge. Empathize is to feel or understand another person's feelings and pain. Okay, and then conversion means changed. Ancestors means our forefathers. Erected means built. Okay, adjoining means neighboring. Attributed to means considered to whom, being written by. So, children, from this part of the lesson, we come to know that not only was the cultivation of herbal medicines done for men and animals in the kingdom or empire of Ashoka, but they were done also for giving general tonics and stimulants. Was the practice done in order to ensure the mental and the physical health of both animals and men. Now, along with this, prevention and occurrence of diseases was also promoted, was also given the importance in those days. Okay, along with this, cleanliness and the quality of food was also maintained, okay, for the animals, but then overfeeding was not done, it was avoided. Then the byproducts that we used to get, for example, if we get milk from the cow, then you cannot store the large amount of milk for many days, so they were converted into byproducts. This is a part of the science that you have already done, okay, and they were converted into curd or ghee or butter, and that was done, or khoya also, and that was also done in those days. So remember that it is not the practice that has been started after man has improved his knowledge, but it is already written in our old Vedas that they used to do all these things. Then chicken was utilized for the meat and the sheep was utilized for the wool to make clothes. Okay, now children, the writer Dr. Matkari, Dr. Chirantan Matkari says that though it is so important, yet this part of science is not very much known. No people or no children or no students go and take this side of science or medicine. That is, they do not opt for becoming a veterinary doctor. Why? Because they don't think that this side is that important. But children, this side is having a great scope in India, is what he suggests. So I hope I end this lesson with a hope that more and more children take the side of veterinary medicine, and we have more veterinary doctors here in India. And I hope this from the students who are listening to me today. Okay, thank you and have a nice day, children. Let's meet in the next session of Standard 6 English. Till then, goodbye. This is your teacher Dipti Kamalwa signing off.